What's up, Boxing Land? What's going on, HBO Facebook page, and all the crazy boxing fanatics, pack tards, pack fags, pack pipers, flomos, Lake Mayweather fans, and everybody else in between. A lot going on in boxing right now. This video is probably going to be long, probably going to be digressing, but anyway, it should be fun. Rocking my Mexican sombrero because, as you may all know, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo 2012, has been reserved for Mr. Mayweather. He's making another comeback fight shortly, as he said he would. Uh, Opponent to be announced at a later time. I did hear from someone that the opponent will be negotiated with after the Pacquiao Juan Manuel Marquez trilogy fight. So there were speculations that it was going to be Sergio Martinez, who I heard this from, said that um, it possibly will be against Sergio Martinez. Team Martinez is looking for a catchweight fight of 152. 151. I heard Team Mayweather's looking for a fight at 150 pounds. So we'll see what happens. Leonard Ellaby, Mayweather Promotion CEO, said that they're looking for the biggest possible fight, which kind of hints to Pacquiao. We all know that that would be the biggest uh, fight that they could ever make. It would be the biggest combat fight in human history. Doubt that it would ever have that it would ever be the records that it was set would ever be broken. But you know, as long as Bob Arum is still alive, I don't think that fight will ever happen. Um, you know, we all know now Mayweather will makes between 40 to 50 million dollars a fight. He is the biggest attraction in combat sport. No one even comes close to him. He can pretty much fight anybody else and generate a million or more pay-per-view buys. And as we all know, he makes money off of every revenue stream in in boxing. Merchandise. By the way, you like that shirt, right? Look at that, baby. Here we go. Somewhere over here. There we are. And he makes money off everything. He makes money off of merchandise sales. He makes money off the popcorn you buy if you go to the MGM. He buys money if you order beer or wine there. Makes money from the pay per view. Makes the sponsorship money. So he makes big, big money. So you know, he'd have to split revenues in half with Bob Arum. He would still make Mayweather would still make about $100 million, possibly more, fighting Pacquiao, but he's making about 40 to 50. So in two fights, he'd make that. So I don't think he's that eager to make a fight with being all the money he would make. I think Pacquiao would be eager to fight him. He'd see his largest payday ever. Even though some of you that don't know, when excuse me, when Bob Arum makes a fight with another promoter, he gets 33% of the purse, of Manny's purse. Okay, so say for example it's $100 million. It's split in half. Bob Arum would get 33% of Manny's purse. Okay, then on top of that, Freddie Roach gets paid 10% of Manny's purse, and Manny possibly spends. I'm sorry. Let me tell you this: Golden Boy Promotion makes 5% of Manny's purse, because Manny at one time signed with Golden Boy while still being in contract with Bob Arum, the same way that Nonito Donaire did. Um, so Golden Boy was awarded 5% of all of Manny's fights, and I believe Manny probably spends another 5% between his entourage, Alex Ariza, and other people on his payroll. So a lot of his money goes out. But anyhow, Bob Arum would make less money fighting against Mayweather than he would if he puts Manny in against one of his fighters. So Bob Arum is not eager at all to make a fight with Mayweather. for that reason, because it's less profitable to him, even though the numbers are much larger, the splits are smaller. And he doesn't like Mayweather. He doesn't like Mayweather like he doesn't like Oscar De La Hoya. Bob Arum is one of these guys. These old school guys who is an elitist. He went to Harvard. He was a prosecutor in Manhattan. Um, and in his mind, he thinks that he's superior to everybody, especially a Latino and a black man. So he hates the fact that these guys left him and went on to do their own thing and have become mega stars and made more money than they could have ever dreamed about making with Arum. So Arum likes to take shots at these guys and make things as hard as possible for them. So one is the money, the money that he's gonna make with Pacquiao fighting Mayweather is going to be less. Two, he hates Mayweather because he left him, and Mayweather calls him out on his bullshit, and so yeah, I don't see that fight happening. The only possible way that I could see that fight happening soon is if within 6 months to a year, Bob Arum would have dropped dead. If he were to drop dead, then I could see that fight, possibly happening. And if somehow this video gets back to Manny Pacquiao, while I'm not your biggest fan, I still am a fan of the sport, and I still, it's still exciting to see you fight. While I don't agree with your choice of opponents and the timing, it's still exciting to see it, and I have to root for you because I am a boxing fan. So, what's good for boxing, I'm all for. So I do support you because I am a fan of the sport. But man, I wish you were to get rid of Arum, and I wish you got rid of Michael Kahns. I mean, you know, Vision Quest let the cat out of the bag and found that those guys have been ripping you off, man. And if you fired both those guys, if you were to get rid of them and you were to do your own thing like Mayweather does, man, you'd be able to keep so much more of your own money, And for those people who adore Manny, and those people who say he does a lot of good, just imagine how much better he'd be able to do for his people in his country if he were to leave Arum. So I wish that would happen, but you know, I don't see Manny doing that. I have no idea if it's because he truly is a loyal person, or if it's because he's superstitious and he wouldn't want to change anything, being that things have been working fine for him and he's been very successful, or if it's that somehow Bob Arum has some dirt or some secrets on Manny that Manny doesn't want, getting out to the public. So I don't know what the reasons are why he stays with him, but I think we can all agree, Mayweather fans, Pacquiao fans, and people in between can all agree that Bob Arum is not good for Manny Pacquiao. Okay, so wrapping up the whole Mayweather May 5th, 2012 thing, if they'll try to negotiate with Team Pacquiao, we all know that's not going to happen. Okay, they're going to try to make a fight, I believe, with Sergio Martinez. If for whatever reason that fight doesn't happen, then I could possibly see Canelo Alvarez being an opponent for Mayweather May 5th. It makes sense. It is Cinco de Mayo against a very popular, young, strong Mexican fighter. Say what you want to say. I'm a humongous Mayweather fan. I'm probably his biggest fan. But I'm honest enough to say that Mayweather and Pacquiao wouldn't be mega millionaires if it wasn't for the Mexican fan. And the Mexican fan base is basically was kept boxing alive in North America, or possibly in general. They're humongous boxing fans. They're in large numbers, and they spend money for fights. So, um, if not Sergio Martinez, I could see it being Canelo Alvarez. I did hear today that Andre Berto will be fighting Victor Ortiz January 2012 for a rematch. They will both be going undertaking Olympic style drug testing, random testing. So if not that, then I could possibly see them Mayweather fighting the winner of that. But it wouldn't make sense to fight Berto on Cinco de Mayo if Berto beats Victor Ortiz, which is could be possible. Um, but I don't see that happening. But then again, you never know. So we'll have to just wait after the Manny Marquez trilogy to see what the announcements are going to be. So we'll stay tuned for that. Soon we'll be watching Manny Pacquiao destroy Juan Manuel Marquez. There's been a lot of speculation that Marquez has bulked up. I mean, that's undeniable. If you look at the guy, he looks great. He's starting to look like Pacquiao, actually. He's put on weight, he's put on a lot of muscle. He looks shredded. He doesn't look bloated like he did in the Mayweather fight. And Alex Ariza even accused Marquez, or made hints that he could have been juicing up, being that Marquez's strength and conditioning coach was he wasn't convicted. He was found guilty on steroid usage or distribution or stuff like that. But he testified, so I don't think he did any hard time. So they're trying to make some controversy for this fight, but I don't care what Marquez does. He's not going to settle right at that weight with the speed and everything else in such a short amount of time. And I see him getting blown out within 6 rounds. I don't see the fight doing well either in terms of pay-per-view numbers. I see the fight maybe doing about 700 pay-per-view. I mean, those are horrible numbers, but for a megastar like Manny, those aren't great numbers either. Just because it doesn't seem like the public is interested in that fight. Even Mexicans here in New York that I speak to don't seem enthusiastic about that fight. They know Marquez is a smaller guy. As good as he is, he's a much smaller guy, and they know that Pacquiao's been a beast lately, ripping through bigger guys. So the public's not that into it. And Dana White will be airing his first Fox, fight. They signed a mega deal with Fox, and they're going to be having it on cable TV. They're going to be having UFC fights. So the first one is going to be Cain Velasquez versus Junior Dos Santos heavyweight championship fight, and I think that fight will do good numbers. One is because whether you hate MMA or not, that's a damn good fight, and ironic too because the guys have decent boxing skills considering that they're MMA guys. But it's a free fight. Pacquiao Marquez is a pay-per-view fight. People are tired of paying for pay-per-view fights and getting ripped off, and controversy and things going on. So I don't, that's a bad thing for it's a bad thing for the Marquez Pacquiao fight, being that UFC is going to go up against them after Dana White initially said that he wouldn't do that. But then again, Dana White hates Bob Arum. I don't blame him. So they're going to be going neck and neck. Tonight we have Glenn Johnson versus Butte on Showtime. I've been very critical of Butte. This guy's been fighting old, washed-up fighters for a while now. They've been hyping him up like he's a second coming of Christ, and I don't think he's done anything. I mean, he got knocked out in Canada and against Andrade, and he was saved by that cocksucker of a referee. And I just haven't seen anything from him. I mean, he's been ducking guys. So let's see. Hopefully after this fight against Glenn, Glenn's a tough guy, but he's old, and I think we'll see that tonight. I think we'll see that he's not able to pull the trigger anymore, and he'll probably get battered. Maybe a late stoppage. Maybe it goes 12 rounds, unanimous decision for Butte. But hopefully after this, Butte can step it up and fight a guy like Mikkel Kessler. And then maybe after that, he could possibly fight the Carl Froch Andre Ward winner. So we'll have to see what's up with this guy. I know Showtime is behind him. They wanna build him up like a big star, but he's gonna have to step up his competition. And I'm sure my boy Dermont Bork will agree with me. So we'll see what happens with that. And what do we have? What else we have? We have Peter Quill and Kid Chocolate debuting on HBO. Should be good. I don't know much about his opponent. I have seen Kid Chocolate fight. I think he's a really good fighter. He's fundamentally sound. He's got speed. He's got good power. So hopefully we'll see more of him, and we'll see him develop over the next year, 2 years, and then maybe we can see him having some big fights. Also, we have Lamont Peterson versus Amir Khan, which I think is going to be a really good fight. I'm not counting Peterson out. I favor Amir Khan to win that fight, but Amir Khan. What Freddie Roach does good with his fighters is he gets them into phenomenal conditioning, and he gets them to be really good offensive fighters. But these guys lack defense, and Lamont Peterson has a good jab and he has a good overhand right. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen there. I think Khan wins that fight, but he's going to get exposed a lot. Peterson is going to expose all of the fundamental flaws that Khan has, and he'll definitely show us all why if Khan faces Mayweather later on, Mayweather's just gonna destroy him. He's gonna die by 1,000 right hands. So it should still be a good fight. There's gonna be Peterson's gonna give him a really good fight, but I see Khan just being able to have enough output and action in that fight to to squeeze through and win a decision. So that should be good. That's out in D.C. I was thinking about going to that fight. It's just a little. It's about 5 hours from where I'm from, and I don't know if I want to go there just to see that fight. If there were more fights on the undercard, I would have taken a drive, but I think I'll pass on that one. Um, so that's December 10th, a week after the Cotto Margarito showdown that's going down. I said this before in another video, and I'll say it again. I picked Margarito to beat Cotto via ass whooping again. I just think styles make fights. I think that relentless pressure that Margarito's going to bring is going to be too much for Cotto. I think they're going to want Cotto to try to box and move. Excuse me. But that's not going to work with Margarito. He's not going to be able to keep him off. And Cotto's never had great stamina. He's not a fighter that's going to give you 12 hard rounds. I mean, Manny's relentless. He's like a machine gun. He doesn't stop. And he's got more pop in his punch than Cotto does. So I don't think Cotto doesn't have anything that's going to be able to hurt or stop Margarito in his tracks. And I'm gonna predict, like I said it before, an 11th round stoppage for Margarito. I think the Madison Square Garden is going to go berserk. They're gonna have to escort Margarito with police when those Puerto Ricans see Margarito whoop Cotto's ass again like that. And you'll see. For those of you that don't know, maybe I shouldn't say this, but something personal about the fighter. Half of Puerto Rico doesn't like Miguel Cotto. And it was weird because in New York and the States, Puerto Ricans love Miguel Cotto. But, excuse me, what Puerto Rican said back in the island was for a while now is that he's full of shit. That he's a come mierda, which means like he's very arrogant. He's too full of himself. And I never understood that because Bob Arum's done a great PR job with Cotto, presenting him like a quiet, humble, nice guy. And Cotto plays that image for the cameras, man. But I got a chance to meet the guy personally, and he is an arrogant son of a bitch. He is full of himself. And I even heard this from Team Sergio Martinez's people, that at a fundraiser somewhere, I believe it was in Mexico or on the West Coast. Martinez saw Cotto, he got excited, he put his hand out to shake his hand, and Cotto just looked at his hand like if I don't know, like if he had polio or something, and looked down and just walked away. So Cotto's a dickhead, and I can see now why half of Puerto Rico doesn't like and support this guy. So I was rooting for Margarito anyway. I told Margarito when I met him in New York City that I was rooting for him and that I knew that he was going to knock him out. This was like early September at the press conference that I saw Antonio Margarito, and the guy he was in incredible shape already. Roberto Garcia told me that he's been in the gym for a while training. So, my prediction again, an 11th round stoppage. Cotto's going to get destroyed again in that fight. So, on the undercard of that fight, it's going to be Walt Polak, if I'm getting that correct. Forgive me if I messed it up. He had a tremendous fight on ESPN where his eye, swollen, looked like a softball. So that should be a good fight, phone booth fight, fun to watch. And also Brandon Rios will be fighting on the undercard December 3rd at the Garden. I don't know who he's fighting. I'll find out. I'll post it later. But should be interesting. I know that Top Rank is going to try to heavily promote Brandon Rios because he may be a future opponent for Pacquiao further down the road. So, and they've been mentioning Yorkis Gamboa fighting Brandon Rios, but I don't see that happening. Brandon Rios would destroy Gamboa. The size difference, I believe Rios is like 5'8" or 5'9", and if you look at him, he's a big kid. I don't know how he squeezes down to 135. I assume he walks around close to 170 when he's not training, but even though he seems like a gym rat, he seems like he's always in the gym. But he would just destroy Gamboa. So I think, Top Rank is just using that, throwing that out there to possibly try to build up both guys, but I don't see that happening. So so that's basically it. I'll keep you guys posted on more things coming up. If you have any ideas, if you have anything you want to talk about, feel free. and let me know. And I'll keep you guys updated. Peace out, Boxing Land.